If your organisation is not good at delivering projects on time, within budget, and to quality expectations, it is well worth doing something to count the costs, as the results can be surprisingly high. If you are not yet reliably delivering projects, then it is very likely that you do not have a fit-for-purpose standard corporate project management framework in place, in which case you are probably not measuring project performance. This means you will not have data to refer to. Nevertheless, it is still worth guesstimating some high-level figures that will serve to give you valuable indicative ballpark information. The costs of poor project delivery can then provide the basis of a business case for implementing a framework that will greatly improve project delivery performance. Such a business case should include estimates for reduced project costs, project delivery efficiency improvements, and any operational benefits or start of production benefits that would result from timely project completions. To simply guesstimate the costs of projects going over budget and overrunning, the following small amount of data is required: the total number of projects in flight during the financial year, which we will call TNP, the average project budget within the financial year in pounds, let's call that APB, the average project duration overrun in weeks, which we'll refer to as APDO, and the average project cost over budget as a percentage, which we will call APCO. The total annual project budget, let's call it TPB, is then easily calculated as the total number of projects times the average project budget, or TNP times APB. The total cost of projects overrunning, let's call it TPDO, is therefore equal to the average project duration overrun, which we input in weeks, so we therefore need to divide that by 52 to get into years, multiplied by the total project budget, which we just calculated. The total cost of projects going over budget, let's call this TPCO, is therefore equal to the average project cost over budget, which we input as a percentage, so we need to now divide by 100, again multiplied by the total project budget, which we calculated previously. Now follows a very important point. The total cost of projects overrunning, which we termed TPDO, should result in a deficit compared with the corresponding financial year budget. However, this is masked by the total cost of projects going over budget, which we termed TPCO, within the financial year, often resulting in something close to the budget being spent. So, an organisation can be fooled into thinking that it has got good control of its projects and their costs, when in reality the project overrun costs, TPDO, must now be budgeted within the following financial year, which would have been unnecessary if the projects had been delivered on time. The organisation has in fact not achieved the expected value of its projects within the financial year, and the masking effect is hiding a double whammy. The total project loss value is equal to the sum of the duration overrun and the cost overrun, whereas the variance against the total project budget is found by subtracting one from the other. This is what causes the masking effect. So let's work through an example. Let's assume that the total number of projects in flight during the financial year is 100, that the average project budget within the financial year is £10,000, that the average project duration overrun is 8 weeks, and that the average project cost over budget is 15%. Our simple calculations then tell us that the total project budget is equal to 100 times £10,000, which equals £1 million. The total project duration overrun is 8 divided by 52 to get us into years from weeks, times that £1 million, which is £153,846, and the total project cost overrun is 15 divided by 100 to deal with the percentage, multiplied by our £1 million, which is £150,000. This then gives us a total project lost value as the sum of these two figures, in other words 153,846 plus 150,000, which makes 303,846, whereas the total project budget variance is the difference between these two values, which is 153,846 minus 150,000, which equals just £3,846. Do you recognise this effect within your organisation? Some businesses rush around towards the end of the financial year trying to spend the budget surplus caused by a positive variance against total project budget. You might recognise this symptom of the double whammy masking effect of poor project delivery.